Me, Frankie, Mikey, and her dad are the devil's servants. This is my hometown. Local pizza shop, porn store. Those crosswalk lights have been blinking since grade 2. That's my house. That's my grandmother's house where me and the boys go every Sunday for carrot sticks and apple pie. Mum loved old heavy-handed country songs. We'd sometimes play her favorites for her when no one was around, especially Dad. We found out later that he did the same. That tree rotted and had to be torn down the following year. In grade 5, Mikey found a love potion at the local pawn shop, $1.67. He took a teaspoon as directed and kissed Angela Valentine French style. That night Frankie drank the whole bottle and tried to kiss Angela the next day at recess. She punched him in the nose. Then Dad got sick. No one made it to the hospital except for Mother. She came right from the gig that we were scheduled to play. We were forced to cancel and decided to jam at home. We made it through Too Much Homework Teacher twice before Mikey got too upset to play.
It's a lesson too late for the learning, made of sand, in the wink of an eye my soul is turning, in your hand, in your hand. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? Well, I could have loved you better, didn't mean to be unkind.
Frankie bought one of those toys you submerge in water and several days later they expand 600%. We named him Dwayne. Frankie replaced the water with vegetable oil to imitate formaldehyde. He also added some salt, which was a tip he got while watching a show on how to mummify. It didn't do much considering Dwayne was basically swimming in moisturizer. Frankie was convinced that Dwayne was alive. He saw his eyes move. We set up an overnight watch. We carefully analyzed Dwayne, the living, plastic, expanding reptilian. In grade 6, we got a gig at the local junior high's dance/talent show. It was the most glamorous night all three of us had ever witnessed. A giant screen with flickering images of people dancing, giant cardboard stars hung from the ceiling, beautiful women dressed in their best evening wear. We came second place to a grade 9 student named Harvey Woodward, who was an observational comedian. He won when at the end of his routine said something like, "What's the deal with the word ginormous, and who decided that gigantic and enormous were not sufficient enough adjectives?" Frankie fell asleep after the show backstage. I fell in love, and Mikey touched a boob.
I couldn't feel any better, or I'd be sick. Tell me quick, oh, ain't love a kick? Tell me quick, ain't love a kick in the head?
Billy Blackwater told us at school that his uncle had scerlosis, and he got really fat, a big red nose, and his skin turned yellow. Right after school, we told our mother. She said that Billy Blackwater's uncle was an alcoholic and that Billy was a bastard. We all went to school early the next day to inform Billy. The devil came to Frankie in a dream. He stood at the edge of the bed and told Frankie not to worry, that Dad would be fine. The psychiatrist said that although he understood Mom's concerns with the whole devil thing, that Frankie would be better off believing that Satan was taking care of Dad rather than nothing, at least for now. We raided Dad's liquor cabinet, smoked cigars, and played Texas Hold'em. I'm not sure if we played right, but nonetheless I won. Over the course of the evening I got 22 pairs, 3 of a kind 12 times, and 4 of a kind twice. We didn't know any other hands. I won 2 shots and 17 sour soothers. Then Frankie saw Dwayne move. I took a shot and laughed. And he said I didn't understand, and he was right. Mikey had Satan, Frankie had a living plastic lizard, and I had 1 shot left and a fistful of sweaty candy. When Dad got out of the hospital to show us that he was okay and that there was nothing to worry about, he put forth a vote on a name change. Frankie was hesitant, but eventually agreed. We were now Sergeant Scerlosis and the Spine Tinglers. We had a dog. His name was Sir Alabaster. He had a tattoo of blue numbers written on his tummy from when he was a puppy. It reminded me of the tattoos I would see on Jewish people on TV who had survived the camps. When I was a kid, it reminded me of an inmate. What have you done, Sir Alabaster? If I see her, I'll tell her you love her. My father's friend tried to commit suicide a couple years ago. I never talked to him a whole lot, but now what was I supposed to say? Hi, how you doing doesn't even function so well as a casual greeting anymore. Dad said not to worry about it and just talk normally. He said that just that afternoon they were talking about how bad the bugs were this year. I ran into his friend a few months later at a family barbecue. He said he couldn't get enough of the hot dogs. I looked up at him with mustard on his face and thought to myself how someone couldn't get enough of hot dogs but could have enough of life. I couldn't think of anything to say and asked him if he had any bug spray. Last week, Mikey got hit by a car under the blinking crosswalk lights. The police said in the paper that they knew something like this was going to happen because the locals all just ignored the infinitely blinking lights for years. The editorial, of course, was filled with rambling, angry readers saying things like, "If you knew, then why didn't you do anything?" They were all creatively signed to hide their identity. Things like ESP, enraged senior pedestrian. The lights were to be replaced the following day. That Sunday after the funeral, no one felt like going to Grandma's house but me.